So payments, everybody, it is official. Payments will be going out to a new group of Americans very soon. Stimulus checks are being approved and many people will receive $1,200 to even $2,000 stimulus payments all in the coming days. It's good to see that President Biden is doing some of the work that he promised. So a new COLA may give a payment boost to Americans. Supplemental security income and other social security benefits, that is. The COLA, or cost of living adjustment, comes from a measurement of consumer inflation from the U.S. Department of Labor's Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's called a CPI, or Consumer Price Index. Now, the Consumer Price Index tracks the price of goods and services bought by certain households that rose to 7%. That's the highest in almost 40 years, folks. The Social Security Administration says that monthly payments for people with disabilities will rise by 5.9% this year, including Social Security checks all this month, and SSI payments in December. The COLA was announced in the fall as a result of inflation, which caused prices to rise because of the crisis. I know many of you are wondering about whether or not these stimulus payments will be sent out to you. Well, those whose birth date falls between the 1st and the 10th of this month will receive payments on February 9th, this Wednesday. For those whose birth date falls between 11th and 20th, payments will arrive on the Wednesday, February 16th. And if your birthday is between the 21st and the 31st, then your payment will be there on the February 23rd date. Now, the good news is that Senior Citizens League is fundraising to support its effort to lobby Congress to support additional stimulus checks of $1,400 to Social Security recipients amid the ongoing crisis. For instance, the federal government previously sent out $1,200 stimulus checks to most Americans. That's back in March of 2020. Then in December 2020, Congress approved an additional stimulus check of up to $600 for most Americans, that is. After President Biden took office, Democrats pushed through a stimulus check of $1,400 for most Americans and people that need it the most. The organization's December newsletter explained that tens of thousands of people have already signed a petition calling on lawmakers to approve this new stimulus check. So those who welcome the new baby, everybody and their family, could also receive up to $5,000 on their tax refund this year. This is due to 2 tax credits in the $1.9 trillion aid package Joe Biden signed into law in 2021. Parents who meet this eligibility requirement will receive $3,600 thanks to an expanded child tax credit. Eligible parents qualify for both the child tax credit and stimulus check as well, as long as the newborn was born by the end of 2021. So many folks, everybody, already received this $1,400 check. But because the checks were in advance of a 2021 tax credit, eligible parents can receive the payment for their newborn this year when filing taxes. And tax season has already begun this year. Parents should also keep an eye out for a letter from the IRS outlining important information on the child tax credit so they can ensure their return is accurate. The first payment sent down in July reaches staggering 59.3 million children. That's around 88% of the nation's entire children. This number only grew by 61 million by the date of last month, on December 15th. The credit has been an extremely successful initiative. Lawmakers in Congress like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer also have a plan to make the expanded child tax credit extended for a couple more years. So do you want to see this done, everybody? Tell me in the comments down below.
First year of the Biden administration, as you know, we've had tremendous success confirming federal judges. Tremendous success. We have confirmed more judges to the federal bench, 43 as of this morning, than any president in his first year since Reagan. And that's a big accomplishment. These are, of course, lifetime appointments. In fact, the judges who have been nominated and confirmed not only have remarkable demographic diversity, women, people of color, but for the first time, real professional diversity as well. Public defenders, public interest lawyers, community folks, as opposed to simply partners in big fancy law firms and prosecutors. With Justice Breyer's decision to retire at the end of this term, President Biden has an opportunity to make the Supreme Court look more like America by nominating the first black woman in U.S. history to serve as a justice. We have had 115 justices in the history of this country. Only 5 have been women, only 2 have been African American, none have been African American women. So this is simply having the court reflect America, which it hasn't in the past. Until, I believe it is 40 or 50 years ago, there were only white males on the bench on the Supreme Court. So America changes and evolves and moves, and so should the Supreme Court. So what President Biden said is a good idea. Now, the Senate will have a fair process that moves quickly to confirm the president's pick. I applaud President Biden's commitment to choosing a qualified and a historic nominee. A more balanced, more diverse judiciary has been one of our top goals ever since we got into the majority a year ago. And we are achieving that, and now we will achieve that, hopefully, at the Supreme Court level as well. The more Americans look at our courts and see people who look like them and come from the same backgrounds and share similar experiences, the better off our justice system and our democracy will be. This week, Senate Democrats are working to confirm even more of President Biden's highly qualified nominees. And in the theme of continuing our success from 2021 into 2022, Democrats are focused on passing legislation that directly helps American families. Today, our economy is in the midst of a historic turnaround with record wage and economic growth. And people talk about, 5.7%. To me, one of the most important things in the economy is wage growth is real. For decades, economists and average folks decried the fact that wage growth was flat. In fact, some of the statistics I've seen show that for about 75% of all Americans, there was no real growth between 2000 and 2020. But now wages are going up. And the second prong of that, getting wages up, is getting costs down. And we Democrats are focusing on getting costs down. In 2021, we responded to the COVID crisis by passing the American Rescue Plan 2 months into the president's term. Of course, we passed a historic infrastructure package that's putting people to work, fixing our roads, our bridges, our highways. And now we're focused on doing more to help families get ahead and stay ahead. Our focus, to help those not into the middle class to get there, giving them the ladders up they need. To those in the middle class, to keep them there and to alleviate their anxiety that they won't stay there. And that's what we're doing. Now, the House is now joining the Senate to pass legislation that will help businesses struggling with strained supply chains. The chip shortage has raised the prices of cars, of appliances, of iPhones, and our bill, USICA, will do that. It also does something else very important to the American people. It says we want the jobs in America, not overseas, in China or Germany or anywhere else. We want them in America. In America. USICA will help make investments on Main Street. You've already seen what happened in Ohio, and it brings good-paying jobs back to the United States.